Ciao, sono Danielle. Welcome back to Learn Italian for Travel. Today we're going to be talking about three really important adjectives that sometimes get confused with each other and one adverb that sometimes gets confused with these adjectives. So you might have seen these or heard these before. The first one is bello, the second one buono, the third bravo, and then the last one, which is the only adverb in this group, is bene. So all of these words have to do with good and promoting, talking about, describing positive qualities about something. But they're a little bit different in the terms of when you're going to use each one. And then bene, of course, the last one, is an adverb, so it's going to be used with a verb, not describing a noun. The adjectives describe nouns. So if you noticed from the last video, we talked about gender and number of nouns. And so if you see these adjectives, they all end in O, they're in the masculine singular form. So let's talk about gender and number of nouns in the masculine, feminine, singular, plural. We haven't done that yet. I made this little chart. Hopefully helps make it more clear for you. So masculine, fem at the top is feminine, sing refers to singular, and then the PL refers to plural. So most of the time masculine nouns end in an O, most of the time. Sometimes though they end in an E, but those are in the singular form. Anytime you make either of those nouns plural, you're going to change the ending of the noun to an I. Okay, so there's one choice for the plural. Most of the time, feminine nouns end in an A. Okay, sometimes they end in an E. And then you'll see though, there's two different things that happen when you change to the plural. If a feminine noun ends in an A, when you change it to a plural, it changes to an E ending. If it ends in E, when you change to a plural, it becomes an I. So there's three choices of plural endings, and you'll notice if you're looking at this chart, because I talked about earlier, if you look at a noun, sometimes you can identify the gender and number by looking at the ending. But if a noun ends in an E, like stazione, you could look at it and you could think, okay, is that masculine singular? Maybe. Is it feminine singular, or is it feminine plural? So don't get worried, because the more practice that you have with Italian and the more that you're familiar with the language, the more you'll be able to identify what the gender and number is with the nouns. And also, there are other nouns that don't fit these rules that are exceptions. So just be aware of that as well as you're starting to learn Italian. So let's talk about the first adjective, bello. Bello is going to refer to an aesthetic quality about something, a pleasing aesthetic quality. So if you say che in front of bello, it's an exclamation, and you can use this all the time to say that something's great. Che bello, it's great, that's fantastic. So you could be using it to describe any of these things as well. And notice che bello ends in an O, so that's in the masculine singular form. So we already said that the adjective has to agree with the noun. So anytime we say che bello ending in O, we have to be talking about a masculine singular noun or something that's masculine singular, okay? So the first one, you might use che bello to describe the sunset, il tramonto, okay? You might use it to describe l'uomo, un uomo, a man. You might be saying he's handsome, how handsome, che bello. You might be using it to describe a movie, il film, okay? Che bello. It works for all three of these things because all three of these things are masculine. You could also say che bella, but you would be using that to describe a feminine object. So we're going to come back to this in the end as well. So the next one, che buona. And let me stop really quick just to make sure that everybody's really clear about this. Bello can have four forms. Bello, belli, bella, belle. All four. Singular masculine, plural masculine. Singular feminine, plural feminine. I'm just giving you an example of each of these three adjectives. Bello, buono, bravo, and I'm putting them either as feminine, masculine, singular, plural, in order so you can see the agreement of it all. So the next one we're looking at is che buona, okay? So buono or buona or buone or buoni, whatever the ending is, okay, whatever you're describing, is going to be used to describe the content or quality in a positive way of something, okay? So you can also say that a person, we said that the uomo, the man, was bello, but that's describing more his aesthetic qualities, his appearance. If you say that a person is buono or buona, here we're talking about la ragazza, the girl, we're saying che buona, okay? Now we're talking about that she's a good person, okay? The content, the quality of her heart or soul, she's a good person, la ragazza, okay? We might be using buono or buona to describe food, okay? So la bruschetta, if you haven't had that Italian appetizer with toasted bread, and you'll see it with tomatoes, a tomato salsa on top of the bread, è molto, molto buona, okay? But we would say la bruschetta è buona, che buona, okay? You wouldn't say bella, la bruschetta bella, è buona, okay? And then the last one, l'università, okay? It might be a good university, so you would say che buona, okay? You could also use che bella to describe l'università if you were talking about the appearance or the aesthetic qualities of the university, okay? So andiamo avanti, we're going to move to bravo now. But just like I did before, I put bello in the masculine singular form, I put buona in the feminine singular form. Now I'm putting bravo in the two forms that are left, masculine plural and feminine plural. Okay, so bravo now, when you use bravo, you're going to be talking about a living being, okay? So it has to be something that's alive, either a person or an animal. And you're describing the positive qualities about this person or being in terms of them doing well at something, okay? So che bravi, che bravi. You might have heard at a performance or an opera, it's typical, they'll say bravo at the end because they're commending the performer for doing well at singing, at whatever they've done, okay? So you might say gli studenti, okay, che bravi, about the students because they've performed well. You might say che bravi about I cantanti, the singers, because they've sung well, they've performed well. So notice again, it all agrees, che bravi, masculine plural, gli studenti, I cantanti, okay, it's all plural. We also might be using it to describe something feminine and plural. So now we're going to change bravi to brave, che brave. And here we could be talking about le bambine, the little girls. Che brave, they did something well. Also, le attrici, okay, the actresses, the female actresses. They also performed or did something well. Okay, does that make sense? Bello, buono, bravo. Okay, andiamo avanti to the last one that I said is not an adjective, it's an adverb. So don't get it confused by trying to use bene to describe a noun, to describe a person, place, or thing. Bene is always going to be used with a verb. So it's going to be used after a verb to say it's done well. So sto bene. We've learned this before. Come sta? Come stai? How are you doing? I'm doing well. Sto bene. And so we haven't talked about verbs a lot in these videos. We will in the future. But this is the present tense form for I. If I said ballo, I dance, canto, I sing, cucino, I cook, okay? These are all true except for sing. I actually don't sing very well, but I can dance and cook pretty well. So I would say all of those things with bene, okay? Because I'm saying I do these things, these verbs, these actions well, bene. And a fun thing that you can do with actually all four of these words is you can, if it's really good or really well, you can add issimo to the end. So if you say benissimo, it means really well. And that is the same thing as saying molto. Molto bene means benissimo, really well. So ballo, benissimo, I dance really well. Maybe, some days, maybe not. Okay, but you can do those with the other three adjectives as well. So if something is really handsome or beautiful, or the aesthetic qualities of this in a masculine singular way, it's written with an O, that's why I said that, is extraordinary, you can say bellissimo. Or if it's really good, the content or quality of something is really good, really pleasing, buonissimo. And this, the bravo, remember, refers to a living being and how they perform, bravissimo. And then I put this at the end to remind you that with all of these, the ending can change based on what you're talking about, based on if it's feminine. We'll start here. Masculine singular ends in O. Masculine plural is going to end in I. Feminine singular ends in A, and feminine plural ends in E. Okay? One other thing, a last thing I'd like to teach you, Italians always like to wish each other well on things that they're doing throughout the day. So you probably have heard of buon appetito. Buon appetito means enjoy your food. So anytime you're in Italy and you're eating something and people are walking by, they're going to tell you to enjoy your food. And you will be, because you're in Italy and the food is amazing over there. So buon appetito. And then they might want to wish you a good day or a good evening. So buona giornata is have a good day. Buona serata is have a good evening. We've seen buongiorno, buonasera, hello in the day, hello, goodbye, also in the evening. This is saying have a good day or have a good evening. That's the difference. And then maybe someone might be wishing you well at your day at work. Buon lavoro. And then the last one you've probably heard too, have a good trip. Buon viaggio. Buon viaggio. Okay, so this final page now, I want to see if we can put it all together and you can really understand how all of these work in a different way. So we're going to talk about stella, okay? Stella is the word for star, but it's also a girl's name. It also happens to be my daughter's name. And so that's why I chose it, because she is actually all of these things. I could say, è bella, okay, because she's very beautiful, very, very attractive. I could say è buona, because she has a good character, she's a good person, she has a good heart. I could say è brava, because she always does really well at the things that she tries. She's good at school, she's also good at dancing, okay, like her mom. So I would say balla bene, and now I'm using bene as an adverb to describe the verb. Okay, so I know this is a lot of information. Watch the video a couple times if you need to and go back. But hopefully you can learn to use bravo, bello, buono, and bene in the correct way. And we'll do verbs, I promise, at some point. So have a great day. Grazie. A presto.